My first business, we scaled to around 20, 25K per month using just one ad, but that was prior Andromeda. Nowadays, if you put out one ad, Meta absolutely hates you. They hate people trying to set it and forget it. I'm gonna show you the exact maintenance that you need to do to your ads, regardless of whatever niche you are. I'm in the finance niche, to be able to make sure that you always have high lead quality, to make sure that you're actually able to scale up that campaign and be profitable. Let's get straight to that video. Now let's talk about maintenance on ads. So for Miss Reese over here, this is a little bit more advanced what I'm about to talk about right now in terms of maintenance. So for people that are just getting started into ads, I'll talk about that after, but I want to make sure we handle this question first in terms of maintenance, because we have this one student in our coaching offer, in which case they were running, it's kind of interesting. So she was like, yo, Blade, I'm so freaking profitable. My ads are doing a 3x ROAS. And I was like, great, what's your cost to acquire a client? What's your lead cost? And she was like, well, I don't know. And I was like, you can't really add more zeros onto the budget if you don't know those numbers. And then we were starting to break stuff down, and we realized that when she launched the ads, her cost per lead was around $10. And then last week, it literally just tripled to around $30 cost per lead. And we were breaking down the numbers, and those margins became super, super thin, from a 3x ROAS to a 0.6x ROAS. And the only reason why that happened, her major choke point, in which case why that happened, was because her lead costs shot up. And the reason why her lead costs shot up was because she was not maintaining the ad the right way. Rose, I'm not sharing my screen right now, but I'm about to in a second. So let me know if you are able to see this in a quick moment over here. All right, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show up a Canva, and I'm going to talk to you guys about what I mean by maintaining these ads, because this is vital. It's a couple of things that we need to make sure that are in place here. Let me pop up my ad account. Let me pop up another screen here that just dumbifies it, if that's even a word, in terms of maintaining the ad. Let me show you my ad account first. Are we able to see this? It's showing that you're seeing a blank screen onto here. I don't know why it's showing this. Let me try to reshare, or maybe you guys had to rejoin onto here. Share my screen over here. Nonetheless, let's just make this simple. I don't want to waste time on worrying about a screen that is sharing or not. Let me just show this over to here. I'm going to throw this on the chat, on the comment section over here. We're going to make this work, guys. I don't know why my screen is being buggy. For some people, it's working. For some people, it's not. But take a look at the comment section down below, guys. I just literally took a screenshot and I put it onto the comment section. And let me explain. And then I'm going to put another screenshot onto here, and I'm going to explain how we maintain these ads over here. Awesome. So part one over here is my actual ad account, screenshot of it. And as you can see over here, we got C1, we got C2, we got C3, C4, C5. Before you even get to ads, when you're first starting out ads, you're doing organic content, you really got to figure out what really works. When you first launch an ad, the most important metric that you're looking at is honestly is going to be cost to acquire a client, CAC. In which case you're running an ad to find out what message really works in terms of profitability for your ads. So for example, with my agency ads over here, my entire messaging is very, very simple. We manage, go high level, and help you scale with ads. That is consistently my ad that has worked every single time I refresh it. What I mean by refreshing it is by using the same exact messaging, but just using a new color palette or saying it a different way. So if you look at the comment section below, we look at that second screenshot I added onto here. If we zoom in on it, this is one of my clients over here for the debt relief, in which case his first ad over here that we launched is like, his messaging is that we're not a relief programming words. We're not a relief program. This is a contract review. Again, this is for debt relief. That is his messaging. That is what works. So what we find is that graphics usually last about a week. If you're under $100 a day, it might last a little bit longer. For example, with the BDA, business data adjuster, we're around $500 a day. So with that being said, with more spend means more data can come back, but the ad is going to fatigue a lot quicker. When it comes to graphics, at that type of spend is usually about a week is how long it lasts. When it comes to videos, it's usually about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. So when it comes to maintaining this ad and talking about my student over here, in which case she became unprofitable because the cost per lead tripled. The reason why her cost per lead tripled was because she didn't refresh the ad. And it's very, very simple to do, but most people forget about it. Facebook does not want an account. Meta does not want an account that's going to set and forget it. Prior to Andromeda, yes, you were absolutely able to do that. In which case you put out an ad over here, you threw out the ad over here, and then you're instantly making sales based upon audiences. And maybe you guys had heard of, maybe you guys have heard of audience gaps, in which case you're bidding to get put into these little audience gaps over here. Audience pools is a better word. That's not the case anymore. The AI is way smarter than that. You're not bidding into these audience pools anymore. What I'm saying is that the AI scans your ad and sends out to those it resonates with. And the second most important thing is making sure the tracking is set up right. So what I mean by maintaining this ad and what we taught her to do is just simply refreshing this ad. And what I mean by refreshing this ad, not a relief program, a contract review. That is the scale. That is what is converting. That is what's working. We want to make sure we blasting that out. But what ends up happening is, let's say you're scrolling through Instagram and you see this ad over here, gray background, red and black text, blue little check eligibility in 60 seconds button at the bottom. If I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see that same graphic pop up multiple times over, I'm scrolling through Instagram, I see that pop up, an hour later, I'm in the bed, I'm scrolling through Instagram, I'm at a traffic light and I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see the same ad over and over and over again. Immediately right off the get-go, you're gonna be like, yo, that's just spam. I'm going to dislike it. I'm even gonna block this person because I don't want to see the same shit over and over again. It's almost as if, like, let's say you're watching TV and you see a commercial pop up. Immediately, what happens when you see a commercial pop up? Immediately off the get-go, you're like, yo, I'm gonna get a snack, I'm gonna use the restroom. If a commercial pops up, I'm trying to have a fan on here. As soon as the commercial pops up, you're like, yo, this shit is spam. I'm gonna do whatever I can to draw attention away from this just because I don't want to look at a commercial. And that's the same thing with ads. I'm sure you probably have heard Alex Hormozi, Russell Brunson saying, you got to make sure your ad fits in with the feed and it blends in with the feed. Yes, but you also want to make sure that it's fresh as well too. So with this ad over here, this is week 1 for him, is this over here. Same exact ad. And then week 2 for him is like this. Let me drop in the comment section again. This is week 2. So it's literally week 1 is this ad with a red text and black with a red button on it. Week 2 over here is not a red button, it's a blue button. And it's a small little change in terms of the color palette and how it looks that completely refreshes the ad. And what this does is it resets that audience pool, which is obsolete now. It refreshes the quality and refreshes also the lead cost as well too. So what ends up happening is if you have this ad out and we experience this ad fatigue, in which case people are seeing this stuff multiple different times, and it's not always has to do with the actual frequency. You can have ad fatigue and a frequency but less than 1, or you can have ad fatigue and the frequency can be like 3.5 or 3.25, and you can refresh the ad. The most important telltale sign of ad fatigue that you want to realize is really just cost per qualified call. It's going to be lead quality score and overall cost to acquire a client. In which case, if that cost per qualified call starts to increase to the point where it just doesn't make sense. Let's say you're for funding, my average cost per qualified call is around $100. For my agency, for my SaaS and mastermind, it's around $40-50. For my actual agency, for funding, for my done-for-you agency, that's around $150. So if I'm running my ads, let's talk about my agency pricing, in which case $150 cost per call. If I start to realize that cost per call starts rising from $150 to $180, $200, I need to refresh that ad. Or if my lead quality starts to drop, as in 1 out of 5 being the best, I'm getting all these 5s, 3, 2, 2, and I start to see a drop to 2, I got to refresh the ad. Cost to acquire a client. Let's say for my mastermind. My average cost to acquire a client is generally between $50 to $100. So as in every single time I spend $100, I'm acquiring another mastermind client, you guys over here. So if I realize that my cost to acquire a client is starting to rise above $150, $200, it's not always a sales team thing. It's more that I need to refresh that ad because the intent is dropping, or maybe the budget is even dropping. What ends up happening on the AI is that the AI starts to see that people are starting to mark this ad as spam. So then I'm going to take this ad and send that to a lower quality audience, and I'm going to save my higher quality audience for the people that are following my Facebook invisible rules. It's going to send that the person that's following all Meta foundational steps, maintaining the ad, proper tracking, everything that I showed you previous, it's going to favoritize your ad because it wants you to spend more money. But if you're not following all the Meta foundational steps and maintaining the ad, it almost immediately shoots you down to a lower quality audience, saving a higher quality audience for somebody that's actually going to leverage it the right way. So as you can see over here in the comment section over here, that's the first ad for Alex over here.
I can share it with you, Bo.
Very, very simple. Excuse me, Rose, my bad. I'm just gonna mute you over here. If you have questions, just unmute yourself or just drop in the comment section. I got ADHD, bro. What I'm saying is that's the first ad over there. The second ad, when I refreshed it, is literally just the same thing, but just a different color palette. So it's very, very simple to refresh this stuff. But you need to make sure that you're doing it. Otherwise, you're immediately gonna see that drop in quality after about a week of launching that ad. And then videos are really the same thing. Let me show you another example over here. So when it comes to videos over here, let me see. Let me pull up a account over here. Account. And let me show an example over here. And let me download this ad over here. I wonder, is it gonna let me share my screen right now? Let me see. Let me double check. I don't know if that's working right now. I want to waste time trying to figure out why this screen share is being weird right now. I want to make sure we get you guys the value over here. All right, guys, take a look at this. I'm gonna drop this on the comment section again. This is the redone video. And now this is the original video. Give me a section over here. And now here is the original video. So again, guys, videos last a little bit longer. And this is for funding. I'm just gonna make you guys, I may have to make you guys download it, but whatever. What I'm saying is that when it comes to videos, the way to be able to refresh it is the same strategy when it comes to graphic. It's just refreshing the hook. So when we know that Alex Ramosi says there's 3 parts of a video, you got the hook, the body, and the call to action. That initial hook is what you just need to refresh. So if we were to download these 2 videos over here, we see over here, we got Blake, and then we got yours truly over here. Blake, the hook is saying, if you're a business owner or a real estate agent, I'm gonna help you acquire 100K guarantee as long as you have a 700 credit score. And that's Blake saying it. He's a blue shirt, gray hat. It has a background of a pool or a country club type of style. And then the way that we refresh it in a week and a half from now is just me saying the exact same hook. It's just me saying it. So it's no longer Blake saying it, it's me saying it. And again, this refreshes it because it's a new person on it. I got curly hair compared to him wearing a hat, new shirt, new background, completely refreshing it. And then the reason why I think that videos last a little bit longer in terms of the ad fatigue is because maybe the first time that they watch you, they may watch the first 3 seconds. The second time they pass up on their feed, they may watch the next 10 seconds and then the next 20 seconds, etc. So videos last a little bit longer, but again, you still do need to refresh it. And it kind of sounds weird because when I was first talking about this, when Andromeda came out, we discovered this, I was telling people like, yo, you're going to have to shut off ads that are already converting. It sounds crazy. But if you have an ad that's working, by week 2, it's not really going to work as much as it is going to work because of the ad fatigue. So by week 2 or 3, you're going to have to shut off your performing ad and then refresh it with a new hook, keeping the same exact messaging on it, but just refreshing the way that it looks. It sounds kind of crazy because you're literally shutting off an ad that's working. But you're going to find that once you refresh that hook, the lead body is really going to get back to where it's supposed to be. Did that make sense what I was describing there, guys? I know for some reason my screen's kind of being a little wacky right now. After I'm set up, then I can go to ads. Boom. All right, cool. I don't see any questions on there. So that is how you're going to maintain an ad.